Hey everyone, this is a little different front-end engineering explained. And I've never made one of these videos, but I just have to make this one. So I stumbled upon this post from Joe Landman on Blue Sky about this new thing that Figma launched called Figma.site. And as he says here, Figma's new site thing produces no semantic HTML at all. Every single element's a div, incredibly inaccessible. And I was like, really? So I looked at it and we'll look into details now. But one thing I, for example, found is this div, role link, tab index 0, and then with an href, target blank, role. It's like, this has got to be a bug, like style, border radius 1000. And so I started looking into it. So I found this post here on TechCrunch. Figma releases new AI-powered tools for creating sites, app prototypes, and marketing. I thought, okay, maybe this is more like a prototype thing. So I started reading here, and here they're talking about Figma Sites. So the company website creation tool is called Figma Sites. The startup said that often designers build prototypes of what sites should look like within Figma. Yes, with the new AI-powered tool, they can easily create websites and even publish them. Thought that is starting to concern me, but okay. Once the site is generated, collaborators can easily change elements of the site through an editor without prompting. And I was like, okay, so maybe the idea is that instead of the current prototypes you have in Figma, or other people coming into Figma and having to move stuff around in the design tool, maybe you can kind of go on a web page and there you can like make suggestions and comments and stuff like that. Okay, maybe this is not as bad as I thought. So the idea is, in the end of the day, you might end up with a final layout, and you'll be like, okay, now front-end team, go ahead and implement this. But then I continued reading, and it says users can also add transitions, animations, scroll effects while making the site responsive. Okay, also things you can do in Figma today. But then I read this and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Figma is adding the ability to directly generate blog posts from its site. That means sites will have a content management system, which is an upcoming feature, baked in that lets users edit posts within the design of a blog and also manage other assets such as thumbnails and slugs. For interactive elements like stock tickers, you can add custom code or use AI to generate code for you. So this is not meant as just a playground which would then be handed over to a front-end team to implement. So instead of just following this link, I thought maybe I can try it myself. But then, of course, I ran into the old paywall, and it's $20 because you need a full seat in order to get here. And I was just like, nope. But then I also read this, and I was like, this is definitely not just for prototyping. Design and publish websites included on a full seat, no charge for custom domains, bandwidth, or storage until 2026. Enterprise and organization plans get unlimited custom domains. Professional plans get 10, limit subject to change after 2025. Okay. Leaving that there as it is. My biggest gripe is with what this site actually ends up being. So let's go ahead and look at that. Here's the site. Open it up in Chrome. First things first, this is clearly a logo. So if we inspect that, we have an anchor link here. Interestingly, it's added the role link, which is completely redundant because that is what an anchor is. What you will find there's our href there. Then you will see there's an ARIA label area. So I thought, okay, maybe it's an image inside, but no, there's text inside. And for some reason, the last A is different. It's in its own span. And the thing is, if you look at the accessibility tools, it was correctly just identified just fine as area, but now we're just overriding that with ARIA label. Okay. Well, you can already see, woof, that's a lot of divs. Now a header and site here. Here's a nav element though, but it has no accessible name. So it's just navigation. That's all it is. Well, how about these little guys? That's navigation, right? That's navigation. It's an anchor link, but what you would find missing from this is an href. So that's weird. Interestingly, if you click it, it works. So it's all JavaScript. Of course, nothing updated in the URL. So if you had to click back, uh-oh, that didn't work. And now it's restoring the scroll position. If I refresh, it's still restoring the scroll position. If I scroll up and I then go, now we're good. Okay, let's dive in a little bit more. So what is this thing over here? It looks like a link that may be styled like a button. Role link. A div with an href. Target blank, rel, no refer, no opener. Border opacity 1. So this is a link? Why isn't it an anchor element? Why is it a div? Clearly they used anchor elements earlier. What? And then of course it's not just a div, it's a div with a div with a div with a div with just divs all the way down. And then way down here we have a div with an aria label. And again we have this fun thing where learn more and the E is wrapped in a span. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm guessing you're dragging some stuff around and then something's wrapped with a span for some reason. All right. And that's a lot of divs. That's a lot of divs. Okay, what is this thing here? Oh, it's a div. Okay, it's probably just wrapping the H something. No. That's a div with an aria label and then some text inside. And so I turned on the full page accessibility tree view. Oh my God. It's just generics all the way down. Generic. Wow, Grammarly integration as a group. But here's some links at the bottom. Okay. So let's just continue down here. So I'm assuming that this is also not a heading. It's just a div. What is this? Is this a paragraph maybe? No, it's another div. Okay, it's a div and divs and divs. Is this a list, like an ordered list or something, or an unordered list maybe? No, it's more divs. Okay. And by the way, this is not a table or a list, like a couple of lists styled. No, it's more divs. And we carry on and carry on and carry on. And by the way, I will show you something right now. But of course, if you go here and you say, so I'm using the web developer tool and I say view document outline, there's no headings. Could have fooled me. Okay, let's open this again. Now, let me show you why so many people in the accessibility world say that don't just rely on automated testing tools and things like Lighthouse. We're going to do performance accessibility best practice. And we're going to analyze this page load with Lighthouse. Let's see what it gives me. 98 for performance, 93 for accessibility, and 100% for best practice. And the main things it's dinging me on here is because image elements do not have an alt. And that is this little guy down here. If you inspect this dude, it's an image that loads lazily, it's an SVG, and indeed it doesn't have alt text. By the way, the other images on here have an empty alt. So I don't know why this one didn't get its empty alt also. And then it says there's no skip link. So I've made a big video about this before, why skip links are important. This doesn't have that. If it wasn't for those two things, this might have gotten 100 for accessibility. Axe DevTools. So if you do a full page scan, the only critical issue it brings up is that SVG at the bottom that doesn't have alt text. So please test your sites with more than just these tools. They give you a good baseline sometimes, but you can see how easy it is to fool these tools into thinking something is way more accessible than it is. With all of that in mind, what does this mean for a keyboard user? Let me refresh. And let's start pressing tab. If you look carefully, this one actually is focused, but we skipped over all of these. And it's because they are anchor tags, but they have no href. Now we're skipping to discover more, discover more, discover more, learn more. And that's it. We're done. We're out. That's the only things I can tab to. What is this like for a screen reader user? Well, let's try it out in Safari with VoiceOver. Knowing full well that this is not the only one, and this is also a lot of people have been said that VoiceOver isn't the best of the bunch, like JAWS and NVDA, and those probably do a better job. But leaving that aside, let's just load up the page, and I'm going to open up, let me just open up VoiceOver. I can't even think straight. And let's see what happens. Because remember, there's also the rotor that you can open, that maybe that's going to help us here, because
VoiceOver group
tabbing is not gonna help us
Modern
much.
Product launch, web content, visited, link, area, navigation, link, learn more phone, visited, link, discover more, link, discover more, link, discover more, link, learn more phone. You are currently on.
That's it. Also, why does it say learn more phone? Anyway, opening the rotor,
Landmarks menu.
we have one landmark called navigation. And
Navigation.
it's this whole thing at the top here, but it's just navigation. No accessible name. We don't know what type of navigation.
Windows spots menu. HTTP toolbar. Modern product links menu.
Here's our links. Area, learn more phone, discover more, discover more, discover more, learn more phone. This is...
Landmarks menu.
That's it, friends. That's all, folks. There's no headings to jump around. There's no other landmarks to help me navigate this page. I am just floating in diff soup, and good luck, and see you next year. I don't know if this is a joke. I don't know if this is a super early prototype, but the fact that they're already charging people $20 a month per seat for this means that it probably isn't. I don't know how much of this is AI generated. I don't know how much of this is made by a human. How much of this is a combination of the two, but holy hell, this is not okay. This is not fine. No fires with the dog drinking coffee. No. We cannot fill the internet with this kind of slop, junk crap. No, we cannot do it. We need to push back on this, because if a company as big as Figma is going to push the boundaries here and just get past and get away with this without addressing all these obvious, simple things, imagine what the web is going to be like for people who are not... I don't even know what to say. What it's going to be like for people. It's going to... Bloody hell, it's going to suck, man. We need to do something about this. This is not okay. We can't accept this. Not as users of the web, not as web developers. We cannot accept this. This is not okay. I'm a little angry at the moment, so I don't have my thoughts straight, but I'm going to think about this. And if you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments. But no, don't. This is not something you look... These are not 100% for best practices. No, it is not. Okay, I need to get this off my chest, so I'll leave you with that. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like this video. I mean, maybe that helps get it more people to see it and realize what the hell's going on here. You won't get a lot more content like this. I really hope not. But if you're interested in learning how to build websites using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, maybe a little bit of React when it makes sense, hit the subscribe button, and let's just, from our perspective as web artisans, as lovers of the web, as people who appreciate what the web can be, let us at least take the time to make good web experiences that is accessible and inclusive of everybody. Please, I beg of you. Until the next one, make cool stuff and keep rocking the open web. Peace.